Yeah.
I might not even do this too long tonight, so we'll see. We'll get in what we can get in, so to speak.
Yeah.
With that being said, yeah,
not much to talk about. Not much to talk about.
Not really, exactly, but it's all right. We're here, providing a platform anyway. So we are live officially. Welcome to Untitled. This is episode 56 of Untitled. I'm your host, R. Jones, and joining me as well is my good friend from Hollis, David. David is here. David, how you feeling, buddy?
I'm doing good. How you doing, R?
Listen, I'm energetic. I'm ready. Everything's good. Everything's flowing nicely. We got a few things to talk about. Like I said to you earlier, they probably heard when I was talking about it. I'm not going to really be on too long tonight. Won't be any 2.5 hour marathons going on tonight. Oh, look who's here.
Shut up.
And also joining us, what's going on? Our friend from formerly of the Bronx, now in North Carolina, Sir Dominic Donato's in the house. You sound like Rush. You was rushed? You was rushing to get on, bro? How you feeling?
No, I go to log on through what's that thing Apple has? Safari.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
It's telling me your mic won't work. So I tried Google. Google says copy and paste and send it to Safari. I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah, one of those incidents. Okay,
it's like this is my first rodeo. I mean,
yeah, right.
Yeah. But anyway, what's up, guys?
What's up, Dom?
I can't complain. You know that.
Yeah.
Hey, one question before we start.
Yes, sir.
Is it cold in New York?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very.
It's windy too. The wind chill.
The hawk is out there. The hawk is out there.
I will say this before R says this is where it gets scary in the South. It's 68 degrees in the daytime. And as soon as the sun goes down, it's like 32 degrees.
Yeah. That you know what that reminds me of? Not to be off topic or whatnot, but you know what that reminds me? That reminds me of the time when I was in the Army in Fort Jackson, South Carolina for basic training. Okay, and just like Dom said, man, like waking up at like 4:35 in the morning and whatnot, and going outside for PT, it's like brick.
Oh man, I got a real quick, funny, not so funny story about that. But I was basic training in Missouri. It's like October, and so we had to get ready to get outside, but I had washed my fatigues and didn't get a chance to fully dry them. So I was trying to dry them, but I had to get outside. So I threw them on, and they were damp.
Right.
Well, I wound up getting strep throat.
You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind.
I was getting strep throat out there because I kept telling them. I said, you know how drill sergeants are, Dom. So it was like my throat is bothering me. So they were ragging on me about my throat until I had to go to the hospital, and I wound up watching the NL and ALCS from a hospital bed.
Jesus.
Which I wouldn't have gotten to see it if it hadn't been for the fact that I was in the hospital. So when I get back finally get back, because apparently they were like really worried because they kind of like messed up, and so I remember standing in formation when I got back, and the drill sergeant he was like getting on my case, and he was like, "Private Sanford," he was like, "What are you on, drugs or something?" And I said, "Only the ones they gave me in the hospital."
That's it.
And he looked at me with a smirk because he realized I had figured out the game.
Exactly.
And then basic training was easy after that.
Again, one more. You know how hard-headed, look, y'all might not know. I'm Italian. Mm-hmm. My mother was Italian. There ain't nothing more hard-headed than an Italian woman.
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell my mother how cold 82 degrees feels when I was in the Mojave Desert. She was like, "What are you talking about? You're out of your mind." I said, "Mom, 35 minutes ago it was 138 degrees."
Right.
And I watched the sun go behind this mountain that we call Big Ben. And as soon as that shit disappeared, guys, people were running for their Spider-Man gear, their long johns.
Yeah. I'm sure. Exactly.
I'm like, I don't like the cold, fellas. No.
And that's 82 degrees.
82 degrees.
It's all relative. It's all relative.
Cold as hell.
For sure. Well, guys, you know what? We got a few things to talk about. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
First,
speaking of North Carolina.
University of North Carolina has a new head football coach. The man goes by the name of Bill Belichick, NFL legendary coach. Man that has won 6 NFL Super Bowls, 6 championships in his pocket.
I knew I should have applied for that job.
Yeah, you're right.
He decided to go to the college ranks for the first time. According to Bill, he's always wanted to coach college. I can tell right now, the winners of this, besides possibly North Carolina in itself, is the ACC.
True.
Okay,
true,
because this is on the level of Deion Sanders going to coach Colorado, and this is going to bring much notoriety to this organization. You know what I'm saying? To this college.
Yeah.
It's going to be so. Yeah. I tell you, because last year I think they finished 6-6, if I'm not mistaken, and now, not saying that they're going to be undefeated now that Bill's there, but I'm sure he has a tight program already in the mix in his head and how he's going to work it out. 5-year contract. So good for them. They pulled off a coup with this one, And also another big winner is Don Shula. Why do I say that? Don Shula is the winningest football coach.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And will remain that way.
Yeah.
And will remain that way. Exactly. So he's a big winner as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
The funniest thing that I heard was when they said that he'll have no problem recruiting if he could recruit a 24-year-old woman.
Ooh. Hey, you see his girlfriend?
Well, no.
Yeah. You ain't seen her?
Nah, bro.
Google that while we're talking. Lord have mercy.
Really?
I will. Yeah, I will say this, guys. The difference between him and Deion, North Carolina has had some pretty good years. A few years ago, they actually was in the top 25 a few times, and they are. And whether they're playing football, soccer, or lacrosse, they still are the ACC.
Right.
Which is you take away. Like these other conferences, like the Big Ten, the SEC, they're only good in football. Let's keep it up. Let's keep it a buck, guys. Yeah. They're only good in football. Where the ACC is like, again, I'm not saying it because they're probably the best conference in college when it comes to all around sports, guys. From baseball, football, basketball, believe it or not, lacrosse.
Yeah.
It's a different beast, but I don't know, guys. I think somehow he got shunned out of the NFL.
I think.
Yeah. Why though? I mean, it's crazy to me.
Funny thing you bring this up, When I saw the subject, me and my son was talking last night, and we was talking about Brady and his boy blunders with Fox doing football games. He still sucks, guys. After all these weeks, he still sucks. But me and my son was like, you know what's weird, Dad? I was like, I know what you're going to say. Bill Belichick hasn't been to the playoffs since Brady left, let alone win a playoff game. Then they come up. It was 2 nights ago. And then all of a sudden he texts me, Dad, he's going to your school. I said, who's going to my school? Belichick. He's going to UNC. I was like, and I live here. I think I heard some rumblings, and I was like, no, I just think he's teasing. And,
okay.
And now all of a sudden, R says he always wanted to coach. And
Now, is it true? There was something I saw where did his father coach there or something? There was some kind of connection.
Oh, wow.
There's some kind of tie to NC,
Yeah, and that's why it made it more attractive.
And of course, they had to throw in the good punchline. I spoke to Mike, and Mike wished me well. He got my back.
Yeah.
You know what Mike he's talking about, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, Mr. ACC himself.
Yeah, of course.
But I'm thinking, when you said, no, I got a funny feeling, guys, and I don't know. We're just men talking. Somehow, some way, guys, I think the NFL says, hey, you had your time. We moved on, and we're going with younger, brighter, guys that can wear Under Armour shirts tight and look like bodybuilders.
Right.
Like,
you don't fit the mold, man.
Yeah, what's that guy that coach? I'm looking at it with the game right now. It's not really on, but in LA, the Rams coach.
Oh, the Rams, number 1. Yeah, remember? You be wearing the skin tight shirts and shit.
Exactly.
That's guy's modeling for Under Armour.
Yeah, I was like, what's good with this guy? He's like, come on, have a few hoagies and whatnot, some beer. Sit back, relax.
Right.
Enough already.
But you think about it. Like I remember when I was a kid coming up, and you had coaches that looked like Tom Landry.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then they got a little rounder, and you had the Rex Ryans of the world.
Rex Ryan, exactly.
So I guess it goes in cycles, and everybody's trying to look fit, but
Rex fit the mold of Rex of the Fed.
Yeah.
I remember
That being said, you know who I love? How can I forget his name? The guy from the Steelers.
Mike Tomlin.
He don't care how he looks.
Yeah.
No.
His shirt be all jacked up, his sweatpants hanging off his one leg.
Mike Tomlin?
He just comes out there and coaches. He's funny. He wears his sneakers and Steelers t-shirt, Steelers sweatshirt. Yeah.
Really?
These other guys, they look like serious guys, like they're modeling for Under Armour.
Yeah. A little more pristine.
Yeah. And who is he? Not the longest tenured coach?
Yeah, I think we were
right
saying
now. Right now, he is. I believe right now.
Was it 18 years or something like that?
Yeah.
Right now.
And I mean, I'm not knocking the guys, but think about this after we're talking about the guy. Check out Mike Tomlin when he comes out the tunnel. He looks like, hey man, we're gonna hang out for a few hours.
Get at
football. Yeah, check him out. Oh, he don't look.
I think I have seen that before.
He don't look fancy. He looks like a dude, man.
Yeah. Well, did you see him? I think somebody asked him about was it Antonio Brown?
Oh, that was hilarious.
Oh, he played for free.
And,
Bro, that was hilarious.
And then he just looked and just walked.
What about that guy on his team when they were leaving the field? I think he was an offensive lineman. One of the big guys said, "Hey, you was mic'd up." He said, "Shut up and keep moving." This guy is funny as hell, man.
He's hilarious. Mike Tomlin, God bless.
Never had a losing season.
Yeah.
No.
18 years, same team. They only had 3 coaches to begin with, guys.
Yeah.
50-something years, right?
And he's one of them.
Right.
3 coaches, and he's one of them.
That's
exactly.
right.
All right. I'll go with that. But Bill Belichick, guys?
Yeah.
You don't think he'll bring any success to that?
Oh, of course he will, because we have this portal and
the transfer portal.
This NIL money.
Right.
Yeah.
And now who's going to be the spearhead of this? Come on. We know Mike got a little pull here in the great state of North Carolina and the ACC.
Of course.
Who could actually pay Dave a quality quarterback coming out of Queens, New York?
Right.
We're already wearing the Jordan logo on our shit.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know the deal.
Hey, Dave, you want to do a couple of commercials for Jordan? Sure, Mike.
Sure, Mike. Yep.
Of course, Mike. Yeah.
You know what though? This kind of reminds me of them high. Like, how old was Tom? Is Tom Coughlin? Is Tom Coughlin 80?
Oh,
probably.
Right?
Damn, or if I'm 60. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
80s.
Belichick is 72. You got a 5-year deal. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Or
Yes, sir.
Me and Davis, when we start the next subject, we really would love you to go search Bill Belichick's girlfriend. I am not lying.
Well, I'm quite sure.
I be a student working for him.
I'm willing to bet that this guy is taking some stuff.
Ooh. I don't know what he's doing, fellas, but
I can tell you what he's doing. He's saying, "Hey, I'm Bill Belichick. I got 6 Super Bowl titles in my belt."
Doing the Rick James. I'm Rick James.
There you go. Yeah. That's what he's doing.
Yeah.
That's all he had to say.
But at the end of the day, I don't think. I don't know. I don't think it's going to help. It's going to help notoriety for UNC.
It's got to help. It's got to help.
But is it going to produce, a playoff berth with this new playoff format in college football?
Yeah. Which changes every year.
Yeah, you got to get players.
Yeah.
You got to get players.
I believe he'll get players or whatnot based off his legacy. He'll get players.
I mean, North Carolina is not a bad place to live.
No.
Chirp.
Really.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think
they got a nice campus there.
Oh Lord,
that's great.
Yeah, I've
Great.
seen some
I
videos.
told you I started my school at Penn State.
Yeah,
Finished my bachelor's at UNC, then went to
Right.
Florida. Fayetteville State. I can't afford a ticket at UNC.
Wow.
You know how much their basketball tickets cost? I'm talking nosebleeds beyond nosebleed. Like it's above nosebleed where your nose don't even bleed no more. That shit's like $600.
wow.
And remember and remember, guys, the stadium isn't big like let's say a Madison Square Garden.
Right.
They're getting every penny they can, fellas.
Wow.
$600 for nosebleeds.
That's crazy. That's
you might as
insane.
well go see the Hornets.
Exactly.
Yeah, for a
you might as well.
cheaper. But you know what, guys? I live in there. I live in North Carolina.
Yeah.
I switched over to DirecTV, and their sports package, most of it's free. I do pay for the league pass, but most of it is free. And guess what I get? I get the ACC network.
Nice.
So I see all their basketball games. I see all Duke's basketball games. So
of course. So you'll be checking
not
out.
a bad deal because I damn sure can't afford to go to a game.
Yeah.
I hear you. At least you got something to check out the football program.
Yeah, and then when the football team plays, they'll be on the ACC network, but you never know when they're playing. Because I don't keep up with the football guys, to be honest.
Right.
Not UNC football. No.
Right.
I mean, Danny Jones he comes from a mile down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I don't keep up with it that good. No, not football.
I feel you. Well, if that's the case, let's move on a little bit. Let's get to our next topic, and that is that they got their man. New York Mets got their man. 15 years, $765 million.
Yeah.
Wow. We had speculated about this for a minute. We bandied this about back and forth and whatnot. I said for sure, I wanted Soto to re-sign with the Yankees. I said this guy's got that swagger. He fits in perfectly. The aura around it with the whole team it's kind of like surrounds him and whatnot, and it projects to everybody else. And they should keep that. I mean, they put a bid in. They did, but also brought up Mets owner Steve Cohen. He did say whatever the bid, the highest, he's going to match it or do better by it. And he proved his mettle. He showed what he was going to do. If he's not the richest owner in sports, I think he is the richest owner in sports.
I think he is. He's acting like it.
Yeah.
We went from the cheapest to the richest.
Yeah, and he put his money where his mouth is.
Yeah,
because he shouldn't have. He said, "I'm going to outbid whatever the highest offer that he gets, and I'm going to get this guy." Now, my thing, the reactions have been quite a little bit mixed because I have a lot of friends that are Met fans, and some of them aren't really happy about it. I know you're one of them, David. You was like kind of like.
Well, okay, so I'll explain my position.
Okay.
I've wanted Soto to be a Met since he was on the Nationals, and I saw this kid, and I was like, "Oh man, I would love to have this guy at Citi Field." I had no idea back then that we'd be talking about close to $1 billion. But so there's two sides of it for me. I think he's exciting and brings more energy to Citi Field. I mean, we're coming off of a really great postseason run that ended just short. I mean, we ran into the buzzsaw Dodgers, but building off of that momentum and then getting Juan Soto, the most coveted free agent this year, and I think that is a win for the Mets. The money side of it, while to me, to the average person, this is ridiculous. Part of me that's like, well, it ain't my money, and this is what they're willing to pay. They're paying for not just a player, but they're paying for some positioning and legitimacy. I think that what they showed was this is a new era for the New York Mets as far as the brand, and other players are starting to really look at the franchise as a designation that they hadn't before. And so even if they don't get, somebody else this year, and they're going to need more pitching, and what I really like to see for them to keep Alonso. But if nothing else, the sort of it takes a little bit of the laughing stock off of the Mets, and I think that also, even though I don't get into this as far as the Yankees Mets, but in the city of New York, um, you know that's tough for the Yankees to lose him to the Mets. I think that most Yankee fans, if they couldn't keep him, they didn't want him to go to the Mets, and they surely probably didn't want him to go to L.A. either. But you know, for destinations, I think that's a tough pill to swallow for a lot of Yankee fans.
Right. I think as a Yankee fan.
Hold on, Dom. Let me bring young Bishop in. Your mic is live, sir. Hopefully all is well. Thank you for joining us.
What up, fellas?
What's up, Bish?
What's going on?
I was gonna say, as a Yankee fan,
Amen.
I think it was that pause gap in the contract, where in 2029 he could opt out, opt in something, get 40, 50, 100 more $1 million. Because I'm tired of hearing the story, the Yankees didn't offer him a sweep. Come on, guys. We all remember. I know I do as a Yankee fan. He made it perfectly clear he was going to the highest bidder.
Yeah.
So if the San Diego Padres would have offered him $765 million, he'd have been a San Diego Padre.
Right.
So and there's no knock against him, guys. No whatsoever. I think he was in the right place at the right time. Again, I looked at his numbers. He's a very good player. I'm not going to take that away from him, guys. But for almost $1 billion, for a guy that's a 280 lifetime hitter, never won a Gold Glove, never won an MVP, never led the league in home runs, RBIs, only had 100 RBIs twice. If the Mets was going, I'll say this, Dave, because you know I'm a Yankee fan that don't hate the Mets.
Yeah.
If I thought that one piece was going to push the Mets to la land,
right?
Because again, as a baseball guy, are they still the third best team in their own division?
Right. And I don't disagree with that, and that is definitely a concern. But I also think that there's a lot to be said about building off of the momentum from last year and what this guy represents. Maybe he represents just as much off the field as he does on the field, as far as this was a big splash. I think the first big splash for Cohen was Lindor, and then of course we got those ancient pitchers that didn't amount to much. But for this, in the big bidding war of 2024, for the Mets to actually get him, I think that it did something as far as the rebranding of a franchise. Ultimately winning is going to do all the rebranding. But
and you got to remember, Dave, something I brought up last year. When they dumped those pitchers and they got Aquino, which nobody knew about except us.
Yeah.
You do know that money saved was money earned going towards Soto.
Right. Absolutely.
So, I mean, when you look at it as a business sense, the branding, and yes, the Mets needed that. But me as a baseball fan is thinking, which Met team is he playing for? The early part of the season or that run they had in the playoffs?
I feel
go ahead.
I'll let Dave finish because let him finish with his.
Because we've already here comes the opposite of Dom.
No. Dom is being politically correct, and I applaud you, Dom. He's being politically correct. This amounts to nothing but a glorified storage war. The storage war. You ever watch that program on A&E?
Yeah.
Where they're bidding for the storage lockers, and the guy's going, "Yep, yep." that's pretty much what the Mets is. You can talk about rebranding, this, that. Is he going to push you over the top? Is he going to help you win games? I doubt it. Is this
Really?
is
Really,
this the decision?
doubt that he's
Really?
going to help the Mets win games.
The Mets are the Mets. Believe that. So I don't
I
care
don't know what
if you
that means in
overpaid.
2024, 2025.
Overpaid, and they still wound up where? They had the greatest season, is inspirational, more victories, whatever you want to call it. Where did they end up?
They ended up one
Disappointing
series
a whole
short.
bunch of fans.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Well,
Wow.
you know, I guess they did one half of the disappointment for the city of New York.
Mm.
But again, you can say whatever. You guys overpaid. And what's going to happen is that's a tremendous amount of pressure for this person, for their shoulders, for Soto's shoulders. It's a tremendous amount of pressure because when shit starts going south, guess who they're going to be pointing to? Hey, well, we paid this guy X amount and he's not doing this. We paid this guy this and he's not doing that. So
I don't think he's going to run into that problem.
I don't really see it that way. I think that you know, there are some fans that are going to you know, jump on that. But I think most fans understand that he is not the one piece that's going to do. There's other things that are going to have to
so
be.
why would you pay him the lion's share of the money? Is there money left to pay other quality
well,
players?
Apparently there is.
Exactly.
Yeah, apparently there is.
But remember something, guys. Not to shift gears. Major League Baseball is not the NBA.
Right.
You know, there's really, let's be honest, guys. There's really no salary cap in Major League Baseball. There's some tax program where we pay the poor because we're rich and we spent too much of our rich money. And
of course.
But nobody cares about that shit in Major League Baseball. But then again, guys, there's only a handful of teams that are doing it. The Mets was one of them before they got Soto. Keep in mind, the Mets was on the top 3 of payrolls for the last 3-4 years.
Yes,
and it didn't get them to the 1 year. Didn't even get them to the playoffs. One year it got them knocked out in the wild card at home.
Yep.
So again, we've come. At least I've come to grips with. Other than this year, with the Dodgers and the money buys it shit. The only opposite irony I get out of this is it was only not that long ago that we were the evil empire because we spent money and now all of a sudden it's like. Anybody could do it, guys. Remember, I told y'all when the Mets lost to the Kansas City Royals in the World Series.
Yeah.
Half that money that they got came from the Yankees, came from Boston, came from the Dodgers. Because that's how they filter the money. They filter it to the, I hate to say the underprivileged teams, but the underprivileged teams.
Let me bring in our brother
this
what's going on? How you doing, brother?
But I want to ask Bishop one question before my brother goes there.
Okay.
So let me ask this question, and anybody can answer, but specifically Bishop. The Mets getting Soto, do you think that made more difference to the Mets than had the Yankees been able to keep Soto for $5 million less? No. Which do you think made more of an impact? Because the Yankees had it,
off the field, you can talk about rebranding. You can talk about this. You can talk about that. We can sing hymns. You know what I'm saying? We can hold hands and sing Virgil, whatever. But at the end of the day, does that move put you in the bid or the runnings for a World Series?
Does it? So that's what I'm asking you.
Are you competing to be more popular than the Yankees in New York?
No. What I'm saying on the field, which move do you think impacted the team more? If the Yankees had kept him, or the Mets getting him?
The Yankees will be the Yankees. We'll find somebody else. We'll find somebody else. Dom, what was his stats, Dom?
He's a lifetime 280-something hitter.
Right.
So you think we can't find another 280 hitter?
No, we were willing to pay $760 million for it.
Nobody's going to do that. Dave, I gotta say this, Dave. I gotta say this, and Bishop, You're in our little group text. As soon as the Mets signed him, I came out and said I'm proud of the Yankees because they didn't fall for the banana peel in the tailpipe. Yeah, yes. They didn't fall for that this time. Normally, they'd have kept going. You can talk about all the money.
I disagree.
You can talk about all the money Cohen had.
I think that's what people say when they didn't get.
No. Me as a fan, Dave, because I've seen the Yankees do this.
Time out. Let me bring another guest on. We got our boy Moody. Moody, what's going on?
No.
We're gonna go all over the place. But let me just say this: you were willing to pay $760.
Right.
For a player that when for $5 million more, the Mets got, and all of a sudden now, I'm so glad we didn't get him. You guys were willing to pay that.
That's just wait, Dave, hold up before we go any further. That's just me as a Yankee fan. If the Yankees would have paid him $765, I would have been just as upset as I was that morning, saying I just don't think that's money well spent. Now, for the Yankees, it's different. For the Yankees, it's different because we've seen that the addition of him got us at least to the World Series. The addition of him on the Mets is not getting you to the World Series. I'm pretty sure we can agree with that.
I don't know because they were one series away from getting it.
Exactly. Like I said, Dave, which Met team are we talking about? Are we talking about the Met team that went on a run at the end of the season, or the Met team that couldn't get out their way half the season?
It's where you end the race.
Hold on for a second. Hold on, Dave. Hold on for a second, Dave. Hold on for a second. Because here's the thing. The Yankees didn't struggle last year at some point?
Yeah. Of course they did. And they still ended up with the best record in the American League.
Look at this.
So pretty much.
Let me just say this, and then I'm going to shut up. They both ended their seasons playing against the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Mets won 2. You guys won 1. So
again, I think it's not a Yankee fan that hates the Mets. I always say this, Dave. If you as a Mets fan and me as a baseball fan, which I love baseball, if you can't see that there are times that a team catches lightning in a bottle, let's just keep it real. Some teams just catch lightning in a bottle. The Mets were not that good of a team. I don't care how many games they would have took the Dodgers. Y'all know it. I know it. Half the Mets fans I know on Twitter was banking the Mets, had the Mets in the cellar. And Jay, remember, I even said it. Hey, man, when they get J.D. Martinez back, they'll have the adult. I was talking Met fans off the ledge. They was giving up on the Mets in July.
Of course, based on the record. But I think that they.
See, as a Yankee fan, I didn't do that. When the Yankees stepped on their dick during the season, I never said my team ain't worth a damn because my team ended up with the best record in the American League.
Yeah, you all were consistent, and then you got to the World Series and you got beat.
Right, by a better team.
Yeah, so in other words, you're happy about the fact that you won the storage war. That's what it is. You're that guy that kept jacking up the price. Yep. That kept jacking up the price.
Yeah.
And then you got the storage locker.
Yes,
and you're happy about it. And
it's the same locker that you were bidding for.
Hopefully, there's something in there. If
it wasn't any good,
that helps you guys win.
But the only thing I can say to that, Dave, is that's the reason I felt proud of the Yankees because they knew where to stop. Because somewhere in the back of their mind, and some of our minds, guys, because he put it out himself, I'm going to the highest bidder.
Right.
It could be the Baghdad Bulls.
So then why join the party? Why join the bidding war?
But the Yankees knew when to bail out. The Yankees said, I'm telling you, Dave,
I think it was bailed out. I think that
no, I think it was that shift in the contract come 2029. I think that's what threw the Yankees for a loop, and they said,
"I just don't like the narrative that all of a sudden the Yankees didn't want him."
I didn't say they didn't want him. I said they weren't going to go that far to get him.
They went 5 million.
Let me get another perspective. Good. Give another Met fan a chance.
Let's get this guy in here.
Yeah, go ahead, Craig.
Yeah.
First of all, the Yankees lost out on him not only because of money. They didn't want to give him a suite, which him and his family.
Oh, jeez.
Because of the cachet, nobody's better than anybody. If you're going to tell me that you, as a Yankee fan, are worried about another man's money and losing out on arguably a top 3 player in Major League Baseball.
A top what player?
What?
He's got to be top 3 or 5 in Major League Baseball.
No.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you why. Because you can quantify all the stats that you want to. You could talk about the kid at the Angels who never shows up to work. You could talk about batting averages, home runs. The end of the day, Juan Soto changes the complexion of your lineup because pitchers are scared of him. He's going to be in the lineup with arguably the MVP in Lindor, the most improved player in Vientos. He's going to have a great lineup. You think I care what a $22 billion owner spends his money on? I'm happy that we got somebody that's going to bat 285, hit 40 home runs, and change the dynamic of the.
When has he done that?
He's a 285 hit lifetime career hitter.
That's never hit more than 31 home runs.
Huh?
He hit 41 last year.
31 home runs.
Thank you. He hit 41. He hit 41 last year. You're not gonna duck him with Lindor, Vientos, and hopefully Polar Bear in the lineup.
Where did he hit those 41 home runs? Where did he hit him at? Where did he hit him at?
He hit him everywhere he's been.
No. I'm talking about prior to the Yankees.
Where?
He's only had 100 RBIs or more twice. Never won a Gold Glove. Never won an MVP. How's he a top 3 player in the league?
We know what Juan Soto is. We know what he's done in the finals. He was MVP of the World Series. Y'all gonna act like this guy can't play baseball.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying he ain't no top 3 player.
Let me tell you something. Yankee fans, whether y'all want to admit it or not, are hurt because you think everybody should be a Yankee.
No, not at all.
The Mets have been the team of the league for a long time.
We skipped over that in the beginning.
And here's the crazy part. Our owner isn't done. This team that we have today is not the team we're going to send out on the field when the season starts. And we all know baseball, wild card teams have won the World Series, so anybody can win it. It just puts us in a way better position to have a chance to win it. Juan Soto was a catch. I don't care about if there's no cap. I don't care if they paid him $1 billion. That's the owner's money. I'm just glad we got him because he's going to contribute. He's going to show up to work. He's going to do what he does. He's going to change the lineup.
I think the question I asked, Craig, is, were you that one piece away from going to the World Series?
I mean, it's baseball. I don't think any team is one piece away.
Yeah, you are. You can be, depending on the pitch. And you can get that one player.
The Dodgers
is he that one player that's going to push you over the top?
The Dodgers won like 110 or 112 games in the season and got eliminated in the playoffs. That's baseball.
With 3 other teams with 100
That's what baseball is. So you're never one player away. And if you hot at the right time, anybody can win it. But Juan Soto helps. I'll tell you that much. So I don't know if we one player away or not, but Juan Soto definitely helps in that line.
I'm not saying he don't help, Craig. I'm saying, and I started this as a Yankee fan, I was glad to see the Yankees say, you know what? We already know that this. If the Yankees would have said 380, Cohen would have said 390. If the Yankees would have said 390, Cohen would have said 400. The Yankees came to grips and said, this guy is just going to the highest bidder. Say what you want. If you're in it to win it and you're in it for the big long haul, you're leaving a team that went to the World Series for a team that in the playoffs had a good run. Don't get me wrong. They had a good run. They are still not even the top 3 in their own division.
We'll see.
But you're going to tell me you went there for what? You went there for the money, man. We get it. Please, with all of this. No, the Yankees didn't offer money. Derek Jeter bought his own suite at Yankee Stadium.
I hate that people think you can't go somewhere for both.
No, he ain't, because he put it out there.
He went there to win for an organization.
He went to the Mets. He went to the Mets to win a championship.
A dude like LeBron winning Cleveland. He knows what one championship in Queens is going to do for the city. If he played in the Yankees, his number is going to be retired with 350 other players that played in a beer league.
Yeah, there I go.
He wants to be the man somewhere and make his own. You can go somewhere to win and get the money. I mean, it's a job. People need a job for money all the time.
Yeah, but come on. And again, I will leave it at this for me. I hope he does wonders with the Mets. Because if there's any team that needs wonders to be done, again, we sit here, the naysayers, the bullshit artists, the anti-Yankees, we ain't won a World Series since 2009. Y'all ain't won one since 1986.
86. I was 16.
So if somebody needs a shot in the arm, I would sooner let, as much as I am not a Mets fan, but I don't hate the Mets. We already come to grips with that. If anybody needs a shot in the arm more than the Mets, maybe the California Angels, but we know that's a franchise going nowhere.
Angus, can I say one thing?
Go right ahead, brother Moody.
Hey y'all, hey brother Elvin, how you? I forgot about the last time the Mets won was '86, so I do want to shout out Chantel Evelyn. I was dating her when I was 16. She was a banger. She was Latino and black. I was 16 years old the last time the Mets won. That's amazing because I'm 54.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to Soto, first of all, Soto, congratulations. Get your money, bro. It's all good. Like go get your money. The owners don't pay what they don't have, man. Go get your money. The one thing I wonder about though is with athletes have God complex, right? We can all agree on that. Like most pro athletes, they have a particular God complex. They're millionaires. They're beloved everywhere they go. They have access the rest of us don't have. Owners definitely have God complex. And if you're dealing with two people with God complex, did you guys hear the story? Because I came on a little late and I apologize for that. But there was a thing where Yankee security denied or removed his family from a game or for some seats. Yes, absolutely.
I don't believe that. I don't believe
that. Absolutely.
Well, let me stop you right there, Moody, and say,
yeah, sure.
We never heard this when it happened.
Okay.
We're just adding all these stories to like why this guy didn't want to play for the Yankees. When from the jump street, he said, I'm going to the highest bidder. The Yankees could have offered him a fucking jet. And if the Mets offered him $10 million more, he was going to the Mets. Now we got all these stories coming out. Come on now. Come on.
But I do want to say you may be right. But I also want to say if you're going to the highest bidder, there are a lot of intangibles and caveats in that, right? It's like if I have a God complex, there are little things that franchises lose athletes over. One may be if my options are upward towards $1 million, and if the New York franchises are only offering me 10 million less or whatever the differential was, yeah, I might take it some kind of way that you didn't kick my daddy out of a game and didn't let my daddy in the game. I think that count. I think it starts to count when you get up around those numbers. No. But as far as somebody, but as far as somebody being worth money, here's what I will always say, and I'm not saying any. Remember, I came on a little late. For anybody that says he's making too much or he's not worth it, whatever, big up to all my transit guys. Big up to all my cops that I train with and Army guys that I train with and all that stuff. Because I know one thing for a fact. I don't worry about people's money because I know if the transit authority gives a bus driver a 10-year, $100 million fucking contract to drive the B-44 up and down Nostrand Avenue, the bus driver will take the contract. And he won't have any problem taking the money, and he will look at you crazy if you question his money. There is not enough money for an athlete to make. He gets paid a market price.
Nobody was questioning.
Yeah. I came on late, so
his money. No,
right.
The problem that I had was like the Mets fans who feel like they won the lottery because the Mega Million or Powerball because they outbid. Because they outbid.
Oh, yeah, no, they didn't. They're still not going to the series.
They outbid. Before you got on, it was this whole manifesto of it changes the complexion of the city.
So here's the thing,
it does that.
Well, let me say this.
The only thing you did was you won the storage locker bid. That's all. That's all you did.
Let me say this because it works both ways. Because I've heard a lot of butthurt Yankee fans, and Dom, not you.
Yeah, I know.
I've heard a lot of butthurt because the idea that the Mets got something that the Yankees wanted is not a good look for a lot of Yankee fans. They're having a hard time dealing with it.
Those are those new wave Yankee fans.
Yeah.
No,
he's not ready.
Them social media. Because guess what, Dave? I heard a million people.
We got him, so that's our issue. If he fails, then that's the Mets problem.
Right.
Yeah.
But don't sit on here smug and being like this. This takes you to the championship.
That's the thing I was going to say, Dave. I've seen a lot of people, especially on Twitter. Oh, we're not the baby brother of the league no more.
Yeah,
really. But you got to show me. You got to show me something.
I know, I got that. But have you heard me say that? Have you heard Frank say that?
No, you didn't say that.
No. Why can't as Mets fans, when we win something, why does it have to be a rain on the Mets fans?
Hold on, Dave.
David, you're right. David, you are correct.
With the ball head underneath you. The first thing he texts me, I'm asking him a question about Jersey. He says, "Don't even answer my question." He said, "Oh, we're just going to avoid Soto." I'm like, bro, I'm going to ask you a question, man.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Juan Soto revealed what he liked.
Yeah.
He said, again, this is what he said. The Mets is a great organization. What they have done in the past couple, showing the ability to grow a team, Hold on. He didn't finish. Showing the ability to grow a team, grow a dynasty is one of the most important things. What you were seeing from the listen. What you were seeing.
Well, somebody wrote that shit.
Exactly.
Maybe. Listen. What you were seeing from the other side was unbelievable. The future that this team has a lot to do with my decision.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Some guys want to build something, don't want to jump on a legacy team.
I give his PR person a lot of credit. I know damn well he didn't say that.
Some people don't want to. Some people don't want to go to the Durant and them when they went to Brooklyn. It was the same argument. It's like, how would you go to Brooklyn? They're the second-tier team in New York. Some people don't want to be part of that big thing that's the Yankees, and boom, they want to plant their own flag somewhere. If Soto gets a ring in Queens, they're gonna put a statue of him and they're gonna remember him forever. And you also gotta remember too, the dude, I believe he's Dominican, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Like little kids in Dominican Republic, their dream is to play baseball to make money.
Right.
They don't dream about playing baseball to win a World Series. They dream about playing baseball to save their family from the conditions that they're under. Yeah. So when these guys go and say, you're going to pay me what I'm asking for and I'm going to go to the highest bidder, I actually respect it because the guy giving them money is worth $22 billion and he ain't get that way by making deals and taking shortcuts and not getting his worth. So he wants, I think he covered it like, you know what? I'm going to get as much money as I can from these rich people that underpay people to generate revenue for them. Yeah, and I'm going to go somewhere where I can plant my own flag. I'm still in New York, so I don't got to move. And if I win a championship in the Mets, I'm with a handful of greats. If I win it in New York, they're going to ask me, is he better than Babe Ruth? Like, nobody wants to hear that.
And this is
when you put it in that context,
that's a dope point. Yo, that's a fire point.
But I'm
that's
saying
fire.
When you put it in that context, it makes a little bit more sense.
He's not as good as Babe Ruth.
But we can't take away history because your team has a lack of it. We can't help it. We can't help it that 90%. We can't. I'm not going to
let me just ask you this though. Don't you have enough history that you don't have to worry about the Mets history?
I know.
Why is this such a big
Craig
issue?
just brought it up. I didn't do it. Craig brought it up. Craig talking about it. He brought it up.
But I'm saying though, every time the Mets do
he brought it up, Dave. I didn't bring it up. He's talking about Soto will never measure up to Babe Ruth. I didn't bring that up. We can't throw our history away, and we can't hide our history for the lack of yours. You don't have no history.
But then don't
anything
worry
for
about
y'all
the
in the
Mets
plus.
lack of history. Why is the Mets lack of history such a big talking point?
No.
Craig brought it up. I didn't bring it up.
You guys have history. No, wait, stop. You guys have history. You guys have history. It's just back in the 80s. It's just back in the 80s.
There it is. Right.
Now,
why do you worry about that?
If we bring
I mean,
back
unless you want to go back to you at 16
if
years
we bring
old,
back the coke in the locker room and the hookers and all that stuff.
You see that? Right.
But you know what?
Maybe I might have some.
I will say this
in our
defense that Craig actually gave us a good segue with the Dominican Republic for the next subject on the top of on the list. Or we'll talk about this forever.
Yeah,
hey, God bless him.
That is true.
Like I said the day after the Mets signed him. God bless him. God bless the Mets.
Right.
I'm just proud that my Yankees didn't do what they've been accused of for years.
Okay.
So, only
well, let me just say this before I switch to the topic real quick.
And big up to Chantel Evelyn. And what up, Chantel? What up, girl? What up?
You made an excellent point about money and baseball with Dominicans and whatnot. I was in an Uber earlier tonight, and I had a Uber driver that was Dominican, and he was talking about Juan Soto and how he opens up opportunities for those people. You understand? So that is true. I'm not going to deny that. It's a fact.
Yeah. But we don't.
Opens up opportunity for what?
To make money.
Dominicans and DRs to make money back home.
Y'all do know that there's a dark curtain behind that Dominican Republic stuff, right?
There's a what?
There's a very dark curtain behind that Dominican Republic baseball thing. Y'all do know that, right?
There's
where they come and they get a Dave Sanford who they think is going to be a good ball player. They take him out to this farm. He don't measure up. They drop his ass back off. They ain't working with nobody. They're going to take the best player. Hopefully he hits pay dirt. And so, hey, like I said, we don't need to beat this horse. He took the money. God bless him. I just don't think that if I was a Mets fan, I'm thinking, first of all, is this the piece that's taking me to the promised land? And again, not to switch gears, we're kind of sort of, though it ain't on the docket, we're kind of sort of experiencing that with the Knicks. The team that everybody thought had the best pieces in the NBA in Summer League, we're starting to think, exposure is a bitch. And we can only see what's going to happen with the Mets. We can sit here and argue what they're going to do. Let's play ball. Let's see what happens. And God bless them, man. For real. I mean, get your money. Get your money.
I hear you. And if it doesn't work, that'll be our problem.
Right. But they do, Dave. See, the thing the Yankees shied away from, the Mets do have a get-out-of-jail-free card in 2029.
Yeah. 5 years.
I will give them credit for that.
Yeah.
Just like I said last year, Dave, you Met fans that are bitching, not you, because me and you have real conversations, Dave. You Met fans that are bitching, oh, man, we went out and got all these pitchers, and now we're going to dump them. Boy, did that shit come back to help you. See, again, we live in a here and now society. I get it.
Yeah.
I'm a little older. I don't live like that. I want to see good baseball.
Yeah.
That's all.
Right.
That's all.
Okay.
I do too.
Yeah.
Okay. With that being said,
and I want Bishop to watch the Yankees exclusively.
I got the Yes Network.
Watch it.
MMSG.
Wait, let's move on. Let's get into this next one.
Oh,
right.
Is Bishop man? I didn't even know my dude. I didn't know my dude was on the line. I'm not really looking at the screen, man. Like, yo, what up, Bishop? What up, my dude?
Yeah, he's in the witness protection program. I haven't seen Bishop in about 4 years.
Exactly. Listen,
I ain't seen Bishop since I saw him in Charlotte.
My good brother Dave and I was talking about this a little bit last week.
Yeah.
And you know what? We're gonna get into it fully on this show tonight. The lack of African Americans playing in the Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
There's so many reasons for this. It's just crazy. Before, man, we had guys. Listen, it was so much. You had the Negro leagues. You had so many African American baseball players. Whenever I say that, one name in particular comes up to me. Believe it or not, that's Dave Parker. God, I love that guy. You know what I'm saying? But I'll use myself. I was pretty damn good my damn self.
Mm-hmm.
He was.
I was pretty damn good myself. You understand? And I was on that road. Exactly. I was on that road. You know what I'm saying? But to see it go from a place where we were in that league, we were developing, to go from that to what it is now, it's just crazy to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Reasons for this. We talk about the popularity of football and basketball. Oh man, it's just.
Well, what about the one thing that, again, guys, I always say this, man. We had this conversation once before.
Yeah.
Right. Why are, Dave, you guys from the New York area, why ain't we putting people's feet to the fire? We grew up with the PAL.
Yeah.
Didn't we? Where's the PAL now? I heard it's
doesn't
defunct.
exist.
It don't exist no more.
So
in other words,
building, but
in other words, yeah, you took baseball from out in the city. We didn't leave baseball. Y'all took baseball from us. It's going to happen again, guys, with this AAU shit. There's going to come a time where people are like, and we had that conversation before, these parents with this need for the greed that my son can blow out both his knees by the time he's 17, but he might make the NBA. We didn't steal that from you. The city, the government, the state, they stole fucking baseball from the inner city. You remember when they had the program? I forgot what they called it, where they were trying to build baseball back up in the inner city.
RBI.
That shit lasted what, 10 minutes? 10 minutes.
You know, R and I talked about this last week, and I pulled up some numbers, and 2024, approximately 6% of baseball were African American players, and each year there has been a steady decline. And I looked at the numbers over the decades. So we're talking about Robinson, 47. What was it? Dobie, 49. Okay, so it starts with the late 50s. You had 5 to 7%. So we're in that range of what it was in the late 50s. You know, then the 60s, 10 to 15%. 70s, 18 to 20%. That's when R and I were playing. 80s, 18 to 19%. The 90s, 17 to 18% by the close of the decade, 13 to 15%. 2000s down to 9%. 2010s 7 to 8%, and now we're at 6%. So it's a number of factors, and I agree about the taking away, and that has a ripple effect, because when kids don't see other kids play, you know, it used to be when R and I, that's how we met. We met in summer camp playing baseball.
Right.
And we both loved the game. Kids today, they think it's boring. It's too slow for them. And also, even though players are making this kind of money, which should be a draw, but it's not flashy. Nobody, you don't see the YouTube videos and the mixtapes and these kids are very TikTok generation. They want that instant clip of this and that. Somebody crosses somebody over. Doesn't matter if they make the shot or not, but it's all in the showmanship of it. And baseball doesn't give that to them. And so the draw of it, I think, has I don't know which. It's like a cart before the horse. You know, is it not drawing because of the lack of representation, or is there a lack of representation because they're not drawn to it? You know, it could be one or the other, but somewhere Major League Baseball dropped the ball. And you know, meanwhile, Dominican players are 30% of the league.
So can I ask you this? So baseball at a time when young black males were playing baseball, it was giving them an opportunity to, you know, get out of whatever situations they were in, giving them an opportunity for economic freedom. And somewhere along the line, someone decided that we don't want that. They were more willing to give the Hispanics, the Dominicans, the opportunity because they didn't have to pay them as much. Now they're at a point where they got to pay them, and the train has left the station for people. Where would you go to play baseball? Like, what leagues are there?
Right.
They don't promote it anywhere. Like there's no summer leagues. There's no, and the baseball that you do see is the little league in these towns where that's what they have. Like the businesses support these young kids playing, you know, baseball. They're traveling all over. The inner city doesn't promote that. And in the inner city, you're going to have a higher population of blacks. You're not going to have a high population of blacks in rural America, which was where this is a big deal at. So,
Yeah.
Well, what Major League Baseball is what they claim that they're doing to address the issue. They have youth development programs.
Where?
Hey,
Where?
that's what they.
Where?
Hey. Oh, I'm not them.
I'm just saying, all right. Yeah.
You understand?
Well, let's not forget another thing, guys. Baseball, again, has a tendency of getting in their own way.
Exactly.
Again, we had that conversation once before.
Exactly.
Remember when we were kids, we would get free tickets, or we would get a ticket off a milk container. We're not even letting kids in. The corporate America has stole sports. Forget about baseball.
Yeah.
Corporate America has stole sports from our children.
Yeah.
And there's nothing we can do about it because we can't fight corporate America. I might be able to afford a $211 seat in Miami. I might be able to afford to fly to Miami to pay that much for a ticket.
Yeah.
The average Joe can't do that, let alone the average Joe in the inner city. I'm talking about bread, motherfucker. I ain't talking about a damn ticket to see the Knicks. I'm talking about food on my table. But we're not allowing them in no more. Again, corporate America, greed, money. And guess what? We can talk about baseball all we want. Nobody's a greater culprit of that shit than the NBA. Because while the NBA will give you this, they're promoting you and they're riding your fucking back for all the money they're making. But then they'll sit back and bitch about what the players get out of here. That shit, who said about the horse, the train left the station? That train left the station. The NBA is starting to feel the pinch that this is the shit you created that you tried to steal and somebody stole the shit back. It may never happen in baseball, guys, because I think the interest in baseball in the inner city ain't like it was when we was kids. I went from playing in the PAL to coaching in the PAL to finding out there is no PAL.
Right.
Really?
But Dom, if I can say this, you said a couple of interesting things, and so you said what the average person can't do, or you know, whatever the 9 to 5, the average guy. Maybe all of us are blessed for something, but the situations that we get in, corporate greed is very true. We understand that. The problem is we have a tendency. I could put black people on a whole different level of what we tolerate. But even every other race that believes in one thing or another, we have a tendency to get shitted on and still support. The problem is not really for like for a guy like me, because I'm a very militant guy. You know, I don't know if you guys saw it, but I had put my Negro League t-shirt. I have about 13 Negro League t-shirts in every color on earth. And I was on a flight. I had to go to California to work. And I was on a flight, and the lady actually was sitting. There was an open middle seat, and she whispered at the steward. This is a true story. And she whispered at the stewardess, and the stewardess looked at me, and I'm like, what the fuck? And but you know, like, I'm not really paying. So I go about my business. The lady moved to a seat. So I asked the stewardess later when they were coming with the whole drink thing, like, what do you want? And I said, oh, what happened? And she was like, she was uncomfortable with your Negro League shirt. She said she didn't want any problems. So see, within that is a mentality. Oh, by the way, that left me the whole aisle to stretch out on. I was straight. But like,
you won.
Right,
you won.
Right, I won. But the mentality is, we have to stop. We know corporate is going to do corporate. Criminals are going to criminal. Whores are going to whore. You know, everybody's going to do what they do. But we have to remember, your dollar, even when you can't afford to go to a game, your dollar is the most powerful weapon that you have in the world. It's the most powerful weapon that people have in the world. So if you want to change things, now, not you directly, but if people want to change things, it has to be a finance. I don't worry about what corporate does. I worry about what my money does. And if 100 million people are thinking like me, and Yankees have a game, and this one, and Padres have a game, and all these guys, and ain't nobody in the seats, things change. And things change. Ask Bud Light. Ask Bud Light. Things change when you hold the money back.
So what happened? What happened with baseball? What happened with baseball is, I remember growing up. I play baseball as well. I love baseball. I played baseball before I played basketball because I was small, and it was easy to access. It was cheap. I mean, the only thing you didn't even need a bat. You just needed a ball and a stick.
The ball. Yeah.
And a stick.
They called it stick ball.
Yeah.
Baseball now is so expensive. Baseball now is really expensive. Like when my son was playing, I was like, okay, well, let's go get a bat. Let's go get some stuff. They have bats for $200 for like youth baseball.
Oh yeah.
So when you start pricing people out, it's like, well, I can afford the paraphernalia that comes along with this game. So no, I'm not going to pay $100 for a bat. I'm not going to pay, now you got to have all the safety equipment when you play. So I'm not going to pay $85 for the helmet. I'm not going to pay, for the cleats. I'm not going to pay all of these costs associated with it. It's just like ice skating or like hockey. Like hockey was a black sport. Black folks invented hockey. And now, how many black people do you see in hockey?
Three.
Not a lot.
Right. Me and my uncle in there.
But you've priced certain people out of the sport, and that's what I think baseball has done.
I think I know, Craig, you want to say something. Let me just before I forget this point though. I think that you made a really good point, Bishop. But one thing I will say is, as Black people, we pay for what we want and what we're interested in, because you got kids who don't even play basketball who are wearing $200 Jordans. So you can, they find the money for what they're interested in. And so I do agree with you about of baseball, but like anything else, these kids that I see daily, they've got $1,000 worth of clothes on. They've got another $1,000 in their pocket with the phone, then the $500 headphones, and all of these things. So there has to be something else that is turning them away from the game, and I think part of it is, again, like I said, I don't know which came first, but the lack of representation and somehow the idea that baseball is boring. I think that this now we're in this fast-paced generation where everything is quick, and also you got kids that can go to the NBA at 19, 20 years old, whereas in baseball, a guy might not make it to the show till he's 27 years old. So there is something that baseball is not doing that is making it not attracting or appealing.
David, I'm sorry, guys. Really super quickly. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. I apologize, brother. Go ahead.
To the brother that talk economics too, like I got my team riots on right now. Like I only wear militant stuff too, and I believe that the only thing that's going to change us is the economic revolution. So I agree with you on that point, and I salute you.
Right.
I don't know your name.
Thank you, brother. And that's Craig. That's Craig.
Yes.
My name is Moody, brother. Nice to meet you.
Okay. Everybody call me Shamik except Dom. He calls me Craig. I don't know why.
Okay, Shah. Very nice to meet you. I'm Moody, man.
Another thing too that's getting lost is Dominicans are black. But I'm not going to go into a whole history lesson.
Don't you start this shit, Craig. Don't you start this shit. Here we go. Don't get fired on your day off, Craig.
I'm gonna move on. The third thing is everybody's saying that baseball is boring. Baseball is boring. I played baseball too under Doug Glanville, who ended up going to Major League Baseball. When you're in 6th and 7th and 8th grade, baseball is boring, and it's hard to get enough friends to go play it. It's easier to grab a basketball and go hit a gym. That's just the reality of it. And most importantly, baseball doesn't owe black people anything. If they want to play, they can find ways to play. If they want to invest in these inner cities and get them to do things, they need to get them books and better education and better teachers. We always looking for a fast way out to find one millionaire that's going to move to a white community anyway. And I don't know why we want to, like, for me, I'm not begging baseball to have more black players. I'm going to watch it regardless because I like baseball, but I don't care who's actually playing it or not. They don't owe us anything. We need to go out and get our own stuff, because I believe that if black parents and other black athletes, whether they're Dominican or black, even though Dominicans are black, I just had to throw that out again, but come and get these kids and see if you can cultivate that talent. But at the end of the day, it's hard to get a black kid in the inner city whose friends don't like baseball to go play baseball. That's not what's prevalent.
But let me say one thing, Frank, to that.
If they want to invest in African American kids and help them find some wealth, invest in their education and keep them safe because they're killing each other. So kids in Brooklyn, like where my school is at, they ain't thinking about baseball. They're thinking about which block are they going to take to get to school so they don't die. So nobody like some of these things, we got to take more control over our community and our people. And maybe in our communities, go grab some bats and grab some baseballs and go recruit the kids and take them to the park. But we can't put the onus on every other organization because at the end of the day, we're grown-ups and we know that nobody's going to look out for black people. And until we do that, we're going to lose.
Hey, Dom, can I say one thing? Can I say one thing really quick, Dom? Dom, really, super seriously. Yo, and the thing is what Craig just said, let me tell you why it's so resonant. Because the way the system is set up, we've always heard about House Negro, Phil Negro. We've always heard about liberal, but we've always heard about these divisional things. What happens a lot is if you train people enough that all their failures are someone else's fault, if you do it enough, what'll happen is they won't try harder. You know, and I'm a sports parent. I had a top 40 amateur daughter in the United States of America, not the state of Georgia, the United States of America, a top 40 all-around gymnast with 22 Division I scholarships to college. And she had a hairline fracture and decided, she was like, Daddy, I love it, but I want to have babies and live my life and go on vacation. I ain't trying to not walk by 30. I was like, say no more. Let's just do that. If we keep training people, I've been a coach, I've been a player, I've been everything. If we keep training people that the corporations did it, this guy did it, that guy did it, no matter who does something to you, because even a homeless person has the inclination to go into a dumpster behind a restaurant and find sustenance. Everybody has an instinct to survive. The reason I never blame too much of anything on anybody, it's all on me. It's like Craig said, if we want to do something, we have the ability to do it. We're just not doing it. Sorry, Don, but we do.
No, but we don't live in that world, Moody. I hate to say it.
We do live in that world, Don.
No, we don't live in the world of taking responsibility. It's always gonna. I'm gonna give you an example. Right. Combine what Bishop said with all the equipment and the money you need for basketball to what Dave said about these kids wearing $700 sneakers. You guys do know AAU charges on average $1,300 to $1,500 for these kids to get in this league. While they're in this league, and I've been there, I've witnessed this shit. These kids are coming out wearing $250, $300 pair of sneakers. Not only are you paying the money to be in the league, your kid got to wear the flyer sneaker. I have to pay to get in the stadium that I help support with my grandson playing in this fucking league. I'm still paying $10 to $20 to watch a AAU basketball game like it's fucking summer league. So when you talk about money and revenue and come on, man, we average paying $1,500 to $1,700, and I think that's only for a part season, guys. This shit ain't all year. So if your team advances to another level of this shit, that's another $1,500, $1,700.
Yeah. So let me
parents
ask.
Don't pay them fees.
Let me ask this question though, because I think it brings it back to the original question that we had though, because I hear you in 2024. It is hard to find kids to get together with their friends and play baseball. But when R and I were kids in the 70s, I met some of my friends because we met up at the park and kids wanted to play baseball.
Right.
And so what changed? What is it that changed in the 40, 50 years? And we see that representation in Major League Baseball today with the lack of players. What is it that changed because the game is the same boring game that it was years ago. So what is it that made it unappealing?
I don't think it's unappealing. It's too expensive. It's too expensive, and you can say, they're wearing $200 sneakers and they're doing this and they're doing that. it's a lot different. It's a lot different when you're saying, "Hey, let's get 20 to 30 kids for 2 teams. Let's spend like parents. Some parents don't have it. Some parents don't have it.
It's
When
seasonal.
we talk
It's
about
seasonal
organi-
too.
that is true,
It's seasonal too.
especially here. But I'm just going to say this, because you don't need to play a game in the park because they still have the field. The field is still there.
Right.
So to play a game in the park, you don't need a $200 bat. You can get a very inexpensive baseball bat. You can get cheaper gloves. And sometimes we used to play, it didn't even have gloves. But the kids aren't getting together and just saying, "Hey, let's play baseball." Meanwhile, other sports they are. So I'm saying back in the days, I was fortunate enough that I had some expensive equipment. I was blessed with that, but a lot of my friends didn't have that, and so we made do with what we make do. I mean, there are kids in the Dominican Republic who learned how to catch a ball with a milk carton.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So you
Indeed.
don't have all this. So it's something else that turns the kids off to the point where they say, "I don't want to play."
Accessibility.
But here's the thing.
Accessibility.
Here's the thing too,
Accessibility. And now everything is fast paced. Everything is. You got to think too. Everything was moving towards like online and so forth. So a lot of these kids, the time that they would spend outside playing with each other, they're online making videos, threatening each other, being Instagram or whatever thugs or whatever the new thing is, Snapchat or whatever. So everything is like online and who like this alternative reality to who I really am, creating this image of who I want to be. So their time, their energy, and their focus is spent on this persona.
That takes us back to Dom. That takes us back to Dom in the corporate statement, because the reason he is correct. I want you to think about something. I always tell people when I have conversations like this, and I have many, and I tell people all the time, Nike and Puma. And usually people look at me like, what are you talking about? I'm like, Nike and Puma. I'll explain. Here's the thing. What Dom is saying, how corporate controls things. Well, they don't control they do control our dollar, but that's subliminal. Physically, they don't. That's up to us. But I want to ask you guys, when you're watching the Super Bowl or when you're watching the NBA Finals, or even more directly, when you're watching the World Series, how many baseball players? We are a subliminal nation. We dwell to what is pitched to us. How many baseball players, as opposed to basketball players, have you seen in a commercial?
Yeah.
How many baseball players sneak cleats have you seen advertised by Nike? As much as you've seen Jordans. This is way bigger than just the baseline things that we're all correct in talking about. To me, that's where corporate runs the show. When I turn that TV on, there are things that come on that make me hungry. Goddamn Applebee's commercial, come on, 2 for $20. I'm like, really? Yo, like 2 for $20, bro? Yo, I need some Applebee's right now. And I'm a grown-ass man. And so, we have to remember that also. Really, guys, like, we have to think about that. This is a really great. See, Rodney, I'm telling you, man, Angus, man, go ahead on. You need to sometime get some of these conversations, and you need to release them on YouTube and whatever, because this is a special conversation. We don't see no baseball players doing advertising.
Hold on, Moody.
Yeah, sure. Sorry about that, guys. Go ahead.
This is the problem, Moody, that me, R, and Dave have been discussing for years with the support. This shit is on YouTube. Who's sharing it on YouTube? Who's liking it? What do I always say, R? We got almost 708 people in our group.
Yeah.
And we can't get more than 3 fucking likes a week.
Exactly.
Facts. Yeah.
Really? Come on now. We've been doing this.
You know what though? While it's admirable that I have you guys as a support system, I get that and whatnot. But I think, Moody, I was talking to you. You said you don't do it for them. Do it for you.
Facts.
Yeah. But that being said, there comes a time where, again, what we talk about, and we haven't even, this is the one thing that I always loved about what we do, and we all go back a while, me, you, Bishop.
For sure.
We started this shit, and we didn't even have the unhinged portion. We are doing more than most people. Most people will just have an unhinged shit or just an NBA shit.
Right.
And we're giving people tonight, for example, a race class, a financial class, a baseball class.
Yeah.
And we
and it's free. It's free. It's not a charge.
Right. And you know what? Let me say this to Moody's point, because great point is that a lot of people would, outside of this, would say, well, nobody's talking about it. We are talking about it. Conversations are being had, and we're probably not the only ones that are having this conversation. So we're talking.
Hey, David, can I add on top of that? Listen, another thing that people can learn, it's all about promotion and what people do.
Right.
You know, Rodney is correct. I post a lot. I come in the paint. I don't really care about if anybody knows me, I don't care, bro. I'm just one of them guys. I've been kicked off Facebook 30 times. Like, I don't even care. Like my whole thing is I do it because I love who's at the foundation of it. I don't care if it's 1 or 5, but listen though, also what people can learn, look at these variations of men on the phone. I don't know if any of us have all of us have the same occupation. I know that for a fact too, that couldn't be true, but I do know there's a lot of teaching going on here. So then we got to start getting deeper into what is the ills of what we're suffering from. Because what would I have learned if I never knew about In the Paint? If I never knew about David and if I never just met Craig and I never just met, like none of the homies. If I never knew anybody, I would say, wow, will you look at that? It's a bunch of people with varying opinions, but nobody is calling each other out of their name.
Right.
Nobody is making a threat. Nobody is doing anything like that. We can teach adulthood to people if we educate like fucking adults, bro. That's the whole thing.
Even Bishop.
Even my buddy Bishop.
Even Bishop, Bishop can do it. Bishop can do it. I got faith in him.
To Moody's point.
I think I woke Bishop up. I'm sorry.
To Moody's point, but that thing that Moody just said, you know, if I stood here and I cussed my good friend Craig out every 5 minutes, then people would say, oh man, why does that sound more interesting than what we're actually talking about? Again, this is the world we live in. We live in this microwave society, this social media driven. My word is better than yours. I could coach the Knicks better than Thibodeau. I can manage the Mets better than. This is the world we live in. So by us just sitting here, and we do it all the time, guys. How many times did I say, I'm retired. I got nothing to do it all day to do it. I try to fuck with Craig sometimes, but now he works. I ain't got nobody to fuck with. So what do I do, guys? I go back and I look at shows that we've done.
Yeah. Right.
And I be like, how many times did I say that?
You say that all the time.
Ain't this some shit? Ain't this some shit? Are the anti-Kansas City Chief son of a gun from way back when he picked the Chiefs to win the Super Us last year? What did y'all say? What do you mean? I watched the damn show. I said, I got Kansas City. But us 6 people on the line, and we do it all the time.
All the time, brother.
In our group.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. There's 700 of us.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
I had got to the point where I started copying and pasting the show and putting it on the damn shit.
For sure.
Yeah.
What are y'all doing? Y'all don't like us? I mean,
it's not. Yo, Dom, you asked and answered the question. What it is we are in a time, like, that's the beautiful thing about this, that there's a realization. We're just in a time right now where, if I really gave a damn about social media, bro, you know what I would do? I would do a bunch of entertainment. I would be talking all kind of crazy shit. Well, I do kind of talk crazy stuff, but I would be doing things. I would be doing things that are conducive to being successful. People think that I'm being disrespectful. I know Charlemagne the God personally. I know him personally. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but he's a goofy. I know him personally. I don't care about nobody's money. I know where he come from. He come from where a lot of my family is from. We know all about him. And he better be careful because we know where he do. And the whole thing is, where did he come from? He came from being an intern for a woman that per corporation, a corporation found a black woman to tear down black culture. They found her and they gave it to her, and she hired a black dude that really wasn't with that. But then when the black dude saw the fruit fall from that, the black dude said, I wonder what would happen if I do this. There's a thing where people say, would you starve to learn? Or like what would you do to excel people? Would you starve yourself to be righteous? Or would you be righteous only to not starve? The answer that's in between that shit is that there's this little thing we forgot about, and it's called integrity. What will you do? When you see a guy like Rodney or me or any of you guys, man, when you see guys like that and they say, hey, I don't care if I get one, my heart tells me to do it. That means that we prefer righteousness over. I'll starve to be right. And but if you wanna do the other thing, feed me. What do I need to do? Yes, sir, boss. No, sir, boss. Then we start getting Stephen A. Then we start getting Jason Whitlock. Then we start getting that way where we have people that are not willing to starve for the betterment of people. And until we get that, it'll be a circular conversation and a motherfucker, y'all.
Hey, R, can I say something? R, is Reggie on? Is Reggie on the line?
Yeah, I think he has his mic.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
We got to stop the show for a minute. R, we got to do the bow down. I think Reggie hit me up today on the group text to say, Dom, I tapped out.
No, I didn't tap out.
No,
no.
He ain't mean that. No, he ain't tap out there. He talking about he was being a wuss. He ain't want to deal with the rain.
That's right.
That's what that was. Yeah. No, not yet.
You know what? I'm glad I didn't say nothing. I shouldn't have said it this morning. I was going to say, Reg, you need somebody to help you load the truck? now the guy's going back to work tomorrow. My bad.
I'm off this weekend.
One of the things that we have a good show, but one of the things that you got to remember is you only as good as your last show, and the consistency of this content. Like, we have really good content here, but if you're not consistent, then you lose people.
Yes,
you're not consistent, you lose people, because you have to, like, there's a lot of things that are happening, like in the sports world, there's things that are happening in the social world, and we cover a lot of different topics. And if people knew that there was going to be a level of consistency and some place that they could hear unadulterated, unfiltered, kind of like real life, hard hitting perspectives, then more people will gravitate.
But I used to think like that, Bishop. I did, serious. Until I started doing what I was doing, where I start putting people in our group on blast. We could have 7 shows in a row, no interruption. And does anybody other than me go on YouTube and see how many likes and subscribes we get? Am I the only one doing this shit?
No, I see.
I don't think so. Right. Yeah. So even if we did this, because we've done this there was times, guys, I counted, we did like 8 weeks straight worth of shows. And I never saw the subscribes and the likes go up. So again, I understand what Bishop was saying, because I kind of fell into that group for a minute. Like, we do have a couple of lapses, but if we had a consistent following, I would say, okay, they got something to bitch about. But again, I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna figure out how many people we actually have in the paint group. Match that up with the with the YouTube.
Yeah.
And tell me that shit is totally skewed.
Here's the thing: most people wouldn't even know if we're consistent or not.
Right. That's what I mean, Dave. I
Exactly.
did that math. I used to believe what Bishop said until I was like, damn, man, we on, as much as we bitch about we on like 8 straight shows. I ain't going to say nothing because I don't want to jinx the shit. But then I go to YouTube and I see 2 likes.
This is 56, right, R?
Yeah. If I ain't mistaken.
And this is just 56 of Untitled. We go all the way back to In the Paint on the phone. We were on the phone. We weren't even on video.
Had the same shit. Exactly.
So I'm matching. I was with Bishop. I was like, you know what? My boy got a point. We can't call ourselves a real show if we keep going on hiatus. But then again, guys, I said 8 straight shows, fucking likes are still 2 and 3. And one of them are mine.
And one of them is mine.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I think it's all in house. But but listen, but I'm gonna tell you something. I've done podcasts that have had 5,000 listeners. I've done podcasts that have had 3 listeners. And my history's good. I'm good in black podcasting. Trust me. You can go do your research and do whatever the fuck you want to do. I don't know what the numbers do, but I am a special kind of podcaster. Forget the arrogance, but truth has to interject somewhere. I'm going to tell you something right now. The mistake I made, the reason I've been on from podcasting for 2 years, is I realized that my team, and Rodney, I'm saying this to you also. Dom, I'm saying this to you also, and for all of us. I'm saying we were really good. Now, if you can pull 500 to 3, look, fuck it, 300, 500, 1,500. We were not promoting our brand with passion. That is a problem. Because promotion for a brand, unfortunately, is a 7-day, 24-hour-a-day job. It is every day. It is every whatever. So when we go on Instagram, not saying that I'm on Instagram watching these, people do, twerk out and stuff like that. I ain't said that was me. All I'm saying is when we go on and we see these girls and we see these guys doing the dumbest stuff. Like, yo, this is what entertains the masses, bro. But you know why they got it? It's not because their content is so stupid. It's that people see them so repetitiously that it just becomes like a cerebral habit. Like you go to that right side of the brain that determines emotion. Right hemisphere of the brain is emotional. And so the brain says, it says like I see it so much, it's become what I expect.
It's like the news.
Like when we do that, everybody on this phone is an asset. I am the least qualified sports guy on the phone, but I know I'm an asset when I have the opportunity to be on, because maybe I bring a little bit of comedy, but then maybe I bring a little bit of hard, kind of, okay, let me just cut it short. Like the asshole, the dumb, the stupid guy that comes on but makes intelligent statements. We have a bunch of guys on the phone that ESPN on any given day, everybody I've ever heard on this show could demand the same salary as Stephen A. Smith. But remember what I told you guys. Are you willing to starve for righteousness? Are you willing to be righteous? Just not to starve, bro. Stephen said, yo, I'm gonna do what boss say. I'm gonna tell women the truth about how they step out of the house. And not that they can't, not that they shouldn't because it's their right, but I'm gonna tell them the truth about what creepy men may do. And people rebelled on Stephen, and them white folks says, come on in here, boy, let me talk to you. And Stephen saw that whip in the hand. And Stephen came up in there and they said, now I'm gonna lash you now, son. Now listen, next time you don't say nothing like that because this ESPN. And this dude gets on there the very next day and goes, I want to apologize to what I said about. See, it's what you're willing to do. So Rodney, I would tell you, Dom, Dave, all of us on the phone, all of us that are personalities and maybe we may be doing something. At the end of the day, every time, I don't really get a lot of sleep. I travel a lot and I'm up about 20 hours a day. But every night I lay down, I think about what's been going on in the last 30 days.
Mhm.
What I found out is there's a lot of good things going on for me, but the bad things going on for me, I have realized painfully, they're because of me. They're because of me. They're because of what I did. They're because of what I did or didn't do. So if y'all want In the Paint to go harder, then let's get off the show one day and let's just have a conference call. Or if all of you find yourself in Georgia, I'll be happy to entertain y'all in the state of Georgia. You know, I'll be happy. Y'all can come over the house and we can have a good time, bro. Y'all can come over the crib, or you know, I'll be happy to treat all you guys to dinner or whatever the case. But if you want to push something, then now let's get that corporate structure that Dom was initially saying. Well, no, what he was ultimately saying, it does control people. You do not control people without being corporate. The most ignorant person you see online, the dumbest, stupidest content you see online, their advantage over me, they have a corporate mindset. That's all I'm saying, guys. I'll just shut up.
Yeah.
And you know what? At the end of the day, guys, it's not hard. I just did the research, Art. 711 members in our group. And on average, we're getting 2 to 3 likes per show.
Right.
I need to let me talk to the other 700 and
I do it all the time.
He does.
Yeah, hey, guys, you know, there's 1,000. We're almost at 1,000 followers. We can't get nobody to watch this shit. I mean, maybe we should change the format. Or get on here, curse and scream at each other, kiss my ass, motherfucker. You think
if you guys cash at me $5 a week, I will disrespect every fucking member in this group, and I will make sure that they get so infuriated that they'll start watching every
for just a mere $5.
Just send me $5. This is a love. This is love. This is
You're
love.
not living up to your AKA.
You're not.
Oh,
well,
Agus, tell him I will definitely disrespect the brakes off of everybody. And they will come on. If y'all don't get Moody out of that show, I'll never listen again. But okay. Hey, Moody, check it out. Hey, don't come on for 5 weeks. Oh, but no, do come on. Because but the shame is we have to think on those levels.
Yeah.
While our integrity is working, people without integrity are doing it out of women. They're succeeding, guys.
Well,
right.
Well, just as long as our host keeps his clothes on. You know.
Yeah. we still are a family. We still are a family-oriented show.
Good Lord. Good Lord.
All right. Are we going to talk about the sippy cup, or are we going to go to bed?
We're going to go to bed.
You know what? Yeah, I think I'm going to have to shut it down. We're not going to talk about the sippy cup. You know what? Talk about
the only 9:30. It's only 9:30.
All right,
I'll do it again. I'm sorry, guys. I'll be quiet for the rest.
We got 23 minutes,
We'll talk about
20 minutes.
We'll talk till 10 o'clock. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You guys know I went to the game.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I was there.
So what?
You jinx. You're a jinx.
So what? So what?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What do you mean, so what, man? It was a good game, man. Unfortunately, lost.
So what?
That's why we can't win. That's why we can't win.
There's a bunch of reasons why we can't win. Ours not it. It
wasn't me. It wasn't me.
No, it wasn't you. It wasn't you. I'm agreeing with you on that. It wasn't you.
It was Jalen Brunson had a bad game. I think Bishop, you pretty much hit it on the head with his play and is not willing to change the style of play. Yeah, that was pretty much it. You know, and they started off great.
Yeah,
they were winning.
They were winning. You know, but with that second half, I was like, ugh, okay. And Trae Young,
I like him.
Yeah.
I like him.
Yeah, I get busy.
Too.
Yeah,
I like the ball.
I love Trae.
I like it.
He's a little guy, but he's very I like him because that throwing the dice on the Knicks side.
I was like, no. I was like, what are we doing? I was like,
that role.
You know what I say? You know what I say, Bishop? And this is why I like him. if you don't like what I'm doing, stop me.
Stop me.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
Yep.
It is.
I'll tell you what,
It
watching
is.
that
Yes,
game,
sir.
guys, without trying to dissect this, that, and the other thing, the one thing I looked at is how the hell did somebody get 22 offensive rebounds?
Right.
I didn't even get into like they do with real stats, like how many points did Dave get off of them 22 offensive rebounds?
Right.
Because I'm thinking if you got 22 offensive rebounds, you got too many damn points off of offensive rebounds.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know what else about that? If you keep getting the offensive rebounds, that means the other team doesn't get the ball.
And is it me, Dave, and R, because you was in the game, R? It seemed like in the fourth quarter, the Hawks were throwing alley-oops like they were doing a layup line.
No, so the turning point of that game, I can tell you, the turning point of that game. So we got two problems right now with the Knicks. Two problems. One, Brunson, I like him, but he refuses at certain points to change his game for the benefit of the team.
Right.
For the benefit of the team. He refuses. It's like teams have figured out, okay, we just got to put a 6'7" athletic guy on them and let them. It doesn't have to be the guy that was there last night. It doesn't have to be him specifically. It's any 6'7" guy who can move his feet and who can relatively play defense. Because no matter what you do, no matter what footwork you have or whatever, I'm still right here. I'm still right here. And he hasn't learned to adjust to that yet. It's like we got all this help. We got all this help. We got Bridges. We got it's like, so we've got guys who we've seen that can create off the dribble, that can score or whatever, but he still wants to babysit the ball. That's the first problem. The second problem is as soon as Karl Anthony Towns starts morphing into that big crybaby, everything else is out the window. When he starts talking to the referees and trying to get fouls, and then that's when he gets the stupid fouls. That's when he gets the stupid fouls. That's when he gets out of place to get the rebound. That's when everything becomes about him and what I'm not getting and this and that and yada yada yada. And it's like, and that just turns everything. Yo, the Hawks came into the Garden and basically punked the Knicks.
Exactly.
They came in there.
So basically, we got a 7-foot Randall.
No, because there's been times when he's shown flashes of, okay, let me just play ball and forget about all that other stuff. So he's shown the ability to do that, but for some reason in some games, like when they played the Pistons, I don't understand what it is, but it's like he morphs into this, oh, I didn't get the call, so now I'm going to exaggerate this, I'm going to exaggerate that, and then it doesn't become about playing the game, it becomes about what calls I didn't get.
Right.
And then you give the referees the attention, and now you're getting fouls called on you for the silliest things. Or you're doing silly things like shoving somebody in the back with two hands right in front of the referee, or whipping your arm around after the person goes through the screen to hit them, or just something really stupid.
It was.
Just like,
But can I ask a question, guys?
Please.
I hate to say this, man. Did we overhype this roster?
No.
Because let me finish, though, Bishop. Let me finish. Pause. We've played 25 games so far, if I'm not mistaken. And I think we have, 16, 17 wins? Without me looking, I will look while I'm talking.
Yeah, look right now. It might be less than that.
15.
That being said, hold on. We have 15 wins. We're 15-10.
Yep.
Them 15 wins, we've only beat a team that was 500 or better 3 times. But out of them 10 losses, we've got 3 losses with teams that were a zillion games under 500. So this is what again, guys, I go back to game 1 because that was my hype moment. I don't care what anybody said. Oh, it was the first game of the year. No, to me, that was my measurement stick because we went out and we re-signed Anunoby. We got Bridges. Again, I said this before, guys. I thought they was our kryptonite for Brown and Tatum. We go get Towns. He's going to be our kryptonite against Porzingis. Because it seemed to me, guys, and only me, that every move we made in the offseason was geared toward the Boston Celtics.
Right.
And game 1, we got smoked. I said, okay, I'm going to do like everybody else. It's just one game, Dave. It's only one game.
Right.
But now we're 30 games in, 25 games in, guys. That's normally the measurement stick, ain't it? Because we're already a quarter away through the season. I say this all the time, guys. The people that say it's early, it gets late real quick. We're 25 games in.
While that's true, but you have to also remember with Cat, when he came in, it was later on during the preseason.
Again, but we're 25 games in, and we
might need there's been games, but I'm saying there's been games when you look at them play, and what somebody's having a moment.
Sound like they making a sandwich.
Exactly.
It's like, somebody's having a moment.
I'm so disruptive. I'm just standing in the corner, still as shit, making sure I'm not the guy.
There's been games when they're playing and they look invincible. So I'm not saying that Brunson is incapable of changing this game, because there's been games where he's played the way he's supposed to play, and the Knicks look invincible. Bridges is getting involved in the offense because he's a pivotal part of this thing. And Anunoby, he can score, but Bridges to me is a more key piece because he's shown us that he's capable of giving you 20 points a night if he gets the ball. If he doesn't have to stand around watching Brunson dribble, pound the ball, pivot. It's like, no, dude, you don't have to play like that. Move the ball, get up off the ball. Like last night was last night, he should have had 15 to 20 assists.
Right.
Because they made a concerted effort to make sure that he didn't score. And he made a concerted effort to make sure that he got shots up, which to me is like silly, because every time you do it, the team loses.
Right.
The team loses.
I agree with you with the Bridges thing, Bishop, but I think Bridges needs to just be Bridges. Because, again, I'm a numbers junkie. When he shoots more than 6 3-pointers, his game goes totally left. But to
last night, everybody shot too much straight.
No, but his whole season and his whole last season, numbers show when he takes more than 6 3-pointers, his game goes totally left. But here's the caveat with this guy. His game has always been predicated on mid-range. But he's fallen into that NBA thing of, and please, guys, stop talking to me like I'm in kindergarten. I do know the number 3 is higher than the number 2. But I don't think the number 3 is more efficient than the number 2. So don't talk to me like I'm in kindergarten, like we got to shoot 3. And he's a prime example of it, guys. I've been studying this dude's numbers, and I even went back to last year. Look at every game this year. He shot more than 6 3-pointers. His game is batshit crazy. But why? You are a great mid. Last night was a prime example, guys. Yep. Why did you even take 7 3-pointers? You had the smallest guy on Atlanta checking you.
Yep.
Trae Young was checking Mikal Bridges.
And you know why? You know why? Because that's the only shot that he could get, because Brunson was determined to fucking jam that ball up and try to get his shot off against a 6'7" long guy with like a 7-foot wingspan. He was determined to do it. And it's just like, dude, you can't dribble a ball for 18 to 20 seconds of the shot.
Yeah, I'm not gonna debate that one. But the funny thing is, Bishop, Mikal Bridges had the most shots.
Right.
Yeah, some of those shots were. But I'm saying some of those shots were like rush shots. Some of those shots were not in the spots where he needs to be shooting. And Anunoby, the same thing. And Anunoby shot like I'm using the term shot loosely because he was launching 3-pointers, and it's like, dude, you're not that good of a 3-point shooter. You're not that good of a 3-point shooter. You're aiming those shots.
I'm gonna ask a question. So at what point in the 24-second shot clock were they taking the shot? They had to shoot the ball.
In some instances, it was right. It was as soon as the ball came across, and this swing, shot, swing, shot.
I saw possessions where we're talking about 24 second clock, the violation, 24-second violation, whatnot. I saw plenty of that last night on their
Brunson
behalf.
dribble the lines off the ball.
Exactly. Then you would toss it to Bridges with like maybe 1 or 2 seconds before the clock.
Exactly.
Ran. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
That's the part I'm talking about. That's why he was 1 for 5. It's not because he wanted to; he had to.
But he don't shoot well, Reg. I'm telling you, go somebody other than me. Check this dude's numbers when he shoots more than 5 3-pointers.
So the people.
But
so
why?
I'm not going to
Why
say.
do
I'm
it
not.
when? Again, last night was a prime example. Whether Brunson was dribbling the air out the ball or the boogeyman was in the corner, you had the smallest guy on the Atlanta Hawks checking you. Every time you got that ball, you should have been posting his little ass.
So don't you think if the Knicks would have said, okay, well, if you guys are going to focus so much on Brunson, let's run the offense through Bridges. Let's get him some touches in the areas where he needs to have touches. Let's have him bring the ball up. Let's have him be the
And we're
focal
seeing
point.
what are these coaches getting paid to do?
And
I don't think he can serve us well
my thing
with
is,
the ball in his hand.
with that, so he's going to make the right play, is what I'm saying. He's going to make the right play, and if I'm okay with him shooting that fadeaway mid-range shot, that 10 to 15 footer, I'm okay with him shooting that. I'm okay with him going to the basket. Hart, Anunoby, these guys have basketball IQ, so they cut to the open spot, they cut to the basket, they back cut, so they do a lot of different things. But if you have a guy jamming up the middle, if you have the smallest guy on the court jamming up the middle, because I want to prove that I can score against a 6'7" guy who's long, lanky, athletic, and who doesn't care about anything else except stopping you. And what I saw yesterday, it's like sometimes in these games, you're gonna have to swallow your pride and say, I got to do this for the betterment of the team. And I don't think that Brunson has reached the point where he's willing to do that on a nightly basis, because you're no longer shocking anybody with those moves. Teams have put you on the number one or number two of the whiteboard. They've made a concerted effort to stop you, and I think they found a formula, because this is not the first time that they've put like a 6'7", 6'8" guy on them, and it's like, dude, you got to do something different.
You know what?
Do something different.
I keep thinking about what I said last year that's carrying over to this year. I don't think I ever seen a guy who's averaging 8 assists a night, who got 8 assists last night, where them 8 assists seem like, were they really 8 assists? I mean, are they
cooking the book
stats for this guy?
Cooking the book. He should have had 20 assists last night, because the way that the Hawks play, like if they would have played like how did we've seen them play.
He just has a weird stat line to me, Bishop, and I can't put my finger on it. The guy's averaging 8 assists a night, but it seems like he don't pass the ball.
No, he passes to Hart. He passes to Bridges when Bridges is cutting, and then there's sometimes I think when he passes to Karl Anthony Towns, I'm like, that's not an assist if you pass him the ball and he drives to the basket.
Yeah, exactly.
That shouldn't count as an assist.
Right.
But I think he gets the benefit of some of that stuff. But again, we've seen when the Knicks play how they're supposed to play, they look really, really good.
But when they're doing it against sub 500 teams, Bishop. That's the part that's starting to scare me. They only beat 3 teams with a winning record.
No, they've played well. They were winning the games that they were supposed to win. They played in Charlotte, and when they played in Charlotte, that game was kind of like, what's happening here? What's different here? And then we realized whenever Brunson is stagnating the offense, that's when the problems come. That's when the problems come, and then for some reason that triggers Towns to start arguing with the referees about calls. That triggers him, because when the ball is moving, Towns can care less about who's touching him. He's going to the basket. He's doing Karl Anthony Towns stuff, hitting his jump shot, driving to the basket, passing the ball off. It's when the offense gets stagnated and people start standing around, and then everything becomes a matter of, every time you touch the ball, it's a matter of life and death, because you know you're not going to get it back. The possibility you're not going to get it back. So then everything is like magnified. And I think Brunson is the root of the problem. Now he can fix it. He's more than capable of fixing it, but he's the root of the problem that we have right now. And it's like, I don't know when they're watching game film, because last night in that first half, they were playing Nick basketball.
Exactly.
And then somewhere along the line, Brunson decided to take a personal challenge against the defender, and it was just like, I don't care, win, lose, or draw. I'm gonna show everybody that I can score against this guy. What I can do, what I normally do, and that's when everything went south. That's when everything went south.
5-15 did it. 5-15 did it.
Bishop, do you think because it was a long time before Brunson, we were always talking about we need a point guard. We need a point guard. Brunson is our point guard, but he's not facilitating like a point guard. Do we need more of a facilitator? And I'm not taking anything away from Brunson.
He's more than capable of doing that. There's been nights when he's passed the ball and caught Anunoby cutting to the basket. He's caught Bridges cut. He's caught hard. He can run that pick and roll with Karl Anthony Towns. It's like, dude, if you run a pick and roll with Karl Anthony Towns, that's a problem for any team to figure out who to guard, because Karl is going to the basket hard.
So I guess that's my point. Do we need Brunson to be more of a facilitator?
Yes.
But like I said, David, it's scary when you say that, because I don't know who's leading the league in assists. Don't get me wrong, but to me,
Trae Young is really up there.
Trae Young might be out actually, but 8 assists is pretty damn good. But why do those 8 assists still leave us questioning why ain't he passing the ball more?
So when do you get those 8 assists?
It's almost as weird, guys, as like I said, I just looked it up. The Knicks have 4 wins against plus 500 teams.
Okay.
But they got more than 4 losses against sub 500 teams.
This is
what's starting to worry me, because their consistency is inconsistent at best. You can't beat Denver by 100 points and then go lose to Utah.
Right.
That kind of shit is weird, guys. Come on.
You know the thing with Bronson, in my opinion and whatnot, is he's bought into his own stock.
Oh, thank you. I was getting ready to say that. I was going to ask the question. I wasn't going to say it.
Yeah, he's bought into his own stock. You know what I'm saying? You're getting accolades from what you accomplished last year. Because again, I was there last night. I see the whole.
You said that. That doesn't make you a fan. You said that already. That doesn't make you a fan.
It is different, when you're at the game.
It's dubious at best. It's dubious at best.
When I was at the game in Miami and Towns scored them 44 points, that's what woke me up to, you know what? As much bitching as this guy did in Minnesota that he don't want to play the 5, he's playing the 5 pretty damn well. Because none of the 5s can check him. He's eating every 5 in the league for lunch. So are we beyond that? Are we going to say, hey, Mitch, you're now a 16-minute-a-night guy?
I was going to say, what happens in March when Mitchell Robinson comes back?
January.
That's if he comes back.
March.
Yeah, if he comes back. That's what I'm saying, Dave. Can we sell this guy? Because as much as people bitch about Thibodeau, you do realize Towns' 2 best years before this year was when Thibodeau was his coach.
Exactly.
And you were playing the 5. Somewhere along the line, you fell into this, I'm the best big shooting big man in the NBA history. Right. And now you don't want to play the 5. They go and bankroll their whole franchise to get Gobert. But now you're on our team. You're playing the 5 like you did with Thibodeau in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Hey, we all know that Mitchell Robinson's a liability on offense. Let's keep it a buck, guys. Let's not. We know this, right? So now, what does Mitch become? A 16-minute-a-night guy, which is great for our bench. Don't get me wrong, but
the problem that I have, and I can. So I'll give you a prime example. So when you're watching these games, watch the action when Sims comes and sets that screen for Brunson. Sims comes and sets the screen. Don't get me wrong. I have no illusions that Sims is this great offensive player. None whatsoever. However, off the pick and roll, you throw the ball. Hart has proven this. You throw the ball anywhere in the vicinity of that white box, above it, below it, wherever, this guy will go up there and get it. So why isn't that part of the offense? Brunson will not pass that ball. Never, ever. The only person he passes that to off the pick and roll is Towns. And I'm like, again, you have these guys out here. How do you expect them to get any better? How do you expect them to be a threat, an offensive threat? I'm not expecting him to dribble, but I'm certainly expecting him to take 2 steps and catch the ball and dunk it. I'm watching him like he's jumping. His chest is above the white box. So it's clear that he's athletic and he can catch the ball. So why aren't you throwing that alley-oop at least 2 or 3 times a game? At least 2 or 3 times a game, just to keep the defense honest. He will not relinquish that ball. And it's just like,
timeout. Did we lose R?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, he said, "Yo, bump that. I'm out."
It's 10 o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, hey, look, man. He said something. I thought I heard him say something about Metamucil before he got off.
No, I'm still here. I'm still.
He had to go take his daily fiber. He had to go take his daily fiber.
No, I'm still here. Whatever.
You better get that Shiggles.
You know where your
get that
pills are.
Shiggles Metamucil powder.
Whatever.
So so I just want Moody. I just want to, like you remember when you were talking about the subliminal and how when you keep saying it, that you make it a reality or whatever. There's some people that try to use that philosophy and that ideology, but then there's some people that know what's going on and won't allow it to happen. So I don't care how many Knicks games you went to. I don't care how many times you went to MSG. I don't care if you stood outside of MSG and ate trash out of the garbage can when the fans came out. I, the Bishop, don't care. It's like, yo, you still are not in. You still not in. So,
I am in.
Yo, Bishop, we gonna release a rap album. Man.
I am in. I am in. I was in the 100 section. So I'm in. I'm not
wavering.
I'm in.
They take anybody money. They take anybody money. They take anybody money. So that don't mean nothing. They take anybody money. Yo, if you're an alien and you come in to watch the Knicks game, guaranteed they're gonna take your money.
Like I said, I am in. I don't care what you say. I am in. Yeah.
Sorry.
Whatever. Well,
you keep mentioning. I just want to bring it to everybody's attention how you keep subliminally mentioning. Well, I was at the game. Well, you know when I was at the game. Well, you know when I was at the game.
You know where I was last night.
Yeah. So I was there. I was there.
I'll tell you what. I was a bit surprised that R didn't send no pictures.
Yeah,
I tried to, but it wouldn't.
He was like, yo, well, you know, I work, but I was at the game.
Yeah.
I was expecting to see some pictures from I'm like, man, he's at the Garden.
Yeah, standing by the Knicks emblem. You know what I'm saying? With the Knicks hat on.
Rolling dice at half court.
Get a selfie.
Whatever.
With the Knicks with a John Starks replica jersey on.
Damn. I didn't give us nothing, man.
Yo, on that note, I'm gonna end this. It's all good.
Yeah, somebody check on R. Yo, you know, old people. You know, old people are supposed to take at least about 1,000 steps before they go to bed too.
Hey, so, watch it.
Everybody get off the phone. Dom, you get off this phone and you go walk up and down the street, bro. That's what I'm telling you.
Let me tell you something, Moody. I done did more walking than I ain't walking no more.
I ain't messing with y'all. That's it.
On that note, I'm gonna leave, but you know I was at the Knicks game, right?
Yeah. I ain't take no
Yo, I'm out of here, but you know I was at the Knicks game, right?
Yeah, I didn't take no pictures, but I was
I'm going again next week, so whatever.
It was like, yo, listen, what's this right here? Oh, this is my Knicks ticket stub. Oh, how did this get over
here? Before we go, hey Moody, I will be at the next time the Knicks play Atlanta in Georgia. I got to do my Southern tour.
Yeah. Let me know.
For y'all that want to join in, we're doing the next Atlanta trip. I forgot what day that is.
Okay.
December 29th, we're going to Orlando. So if you guys want to hop on, let's go.
Oh, yo, Dom, let me tell you what's so crazy.
All right, gentlemen. Let me break this down.
So my wife and I are going to be
cruising
cruising
to have
for New Year's,
Moody,
right? But two of my brothers live in Orlando. So on the 26th,
Moody,
I think the Knicks play the Magic, and I'll be
The
at the
29th.
Knicks Magic
It's the
game.
29th, Moody.
Okay. Well, there's a game. There's a game on the 26th.
That's 3 days before the 29th with your game in Atlanta.
There's a game on the 26th. Somebody playing somebody, and like a couple of my brothers are showing up, and we're gonna go.
Pull up your schedule. I know you got schedule handy.
Well, I was at the game, so you know, and I got it.
Y'all better leave. Y'all better leave R alone.
I even got a T-shirt. Yeah, they T-shirt canning me. Yo, they T-shirt canning me. I still got the mark because I was at the game, so I got hit by a T-shirt at the game.
Grandpa, tell us about the time you went to the Knicks game.
All right, that's it. Good night, gentlemen.
It was 1956. The guy that we had at center, he was the best black center in the league.